I'm outside. I'm outside. It doesn't say out here. And I've just been ordered to leave the premises. And she's yelling at me right now, so I'm going to head back to my car and try and keep you abreast of the situation. I'm outside of the Dilley facility here in South Texas. There's a demonstration of detainees taking place inside right now. We were all asked to leave. There's a drone flying up ahead right now. It's an extremely bizarre situation. You can hear them shouting. Can you hear that? They're shouting, "Let us out, let us out." There's people in blue shirts. Again, there's drones flying up ahead. There appear to be hundreds of people through the crack that I can see. And again, I was here for an attorney visit and they asked me to leave abruptly without telling me why, ordering people who were waiting to stand outside in the cold. And I'll try and keep you updated as to what is happening.
Today, we become the echo that carries their cry beyond those walls. We travel not as individuals, but as community bound by shared principles. Let me remind us of what holds us together. We are here to witness and amplify, not to speak over. Our Libertad Code tells us to center the voices of those most impacted. Inside those fences, right now, are families experiencing what reports describe as fundamentally unsafe conditions, inadequate medical care, threats of separation, and trauma that lingers in young bodies for life. We don't need to imagine their fear. We need to honor their courage by matching it with our presence. We leverage our privileges with intention. Many of us carry privileges of mobility, citizenship, and voice that those inside have been stripped of. Our code reminds us to use these not for personal gain, but for collective liberation. Today, we transform our ability to leave this place into a demand that everyone inside can leave too. We hold conflict as sacred ground. If tensions rise today, with authorities, with counter-protesters, and even among ourselves, we will remember our commitment to approach with open hearts and curious minds. We do not seek easy unity, but transformative solidarity that can bear the weight of our differences. We honor the ancestors in our bodies and bones. This fight isn't new. The same systems that have built these detention centers have always sought to divide, criminalize, and disappear our communities. Our work today is rooted in generations of resistance, of ancestors who sang freedom songs in fields, who crossed borders with hope as their only document, who taught us that no human being is illegal. Today, we join a Texas-wide demand: shut down Dilley, release all families, and defund the machinery of detention. We stand with the clear understanding there is no human cage, no compassionate imprisonment of children, no justifiable trauma inflicted on families seeking safety. But more than demands, we carry something deeper, a belief in our shared humanity so radical it declares that every child deserves to grow up free, every family deserves to stay together, every person deserves dignity regardless of where they were born. When we arrive, we won't just see a detention center. We'll see a site of courageous protest where children found their voices despite the risks. We'll stand where 5-year-old Liam should be playing, not imprisoned. We'll add our bodies to a story of resistance that stretches from Saturday's chants to today's vigil to whatever freedom dawn awaits. So let's breathe. Let's remember why we came, Let's hold in our hearts the families inside who tonight will sleep on cold mats instead of in their own beds, who will wonder if anyone heard their cries. We heard them, we are here, and we're not leaving until they're free. Presente libertad, el pueblo unido a más ser vencido. The people united will never be defeated. Let's ride with that truth in our bones. Thank you.
Tengo 13 años.
My name is Candy. I'm a school student and I am 13 years old.
Hoy he venido aquí para alzar mi voz por mí, por mis amigos y todos los niños que han sido encarcelados injustamente.
I'm here today to raise my voice for myself, for my friends, and for all the children that have been unjustly incarcerated.
No deberían existir jaulas para niños. No se supone que los niños son una prioridad. Es algo realmente aterrador. Yo fui detenida a mis cortos 3 años de edad. Junto a mi madre, de quien fui separada por largas horas.
There shouldn't be cages for children. Aren't we children supposed to be a priority? This is something really terrifying. I was detained at my young and tender age of 3, along with my mother.
Durante todo este tiempo estuve cuestionada por un oficial y un perro que en su momento me aterrorizó. Eso marcó mi infancia por completo.
During this time, I was under the custody of an officer and a dog that at one point terrorized me, and this marked my infancy completely.
Han pasado 10 años y aún me llena de pánico cuando un perro a quien debería ver con ternura se me acerca.
It's been 10 years, and I'm still full of panic whenever I see a dog. A dog is something that I should see with kindness, and anytime it gets close to me, I'm terrorized.
Todo esto ha excedido los límites. Los niños y los adolescentes no deberían vivir con miedo a un país que se dice llamar libre.
This has gone beyond limitations. Children and adolescents should not live in fear in a country that is supposedly free.
Por eso hoy les exigimos a nuestros representantes que ayuden a frenar la colaboración de ICE en la política, que ayuden a parar la separación de familias.
So this is why we're calling to our reps to put a stop to the policies that are caging people up.
Gracias, eso fue todo.
Thank you so much.
Eso es todo, la resistencia. Voy a presentar a mi colega también, Laura, que ella tiene una voz poderosa también.
Muchas gracias, thank you so much. Hoy estamos aquí para decir algo muy sencillo. La detención no es protección y encerrar a las familias no es justicia. We are here today to say something very simple. Detention is not protection and caging families is not justice. Mi nombre es Laura y soy una inmigrante de Venezuela y estoy aquí representando Workers Defense Action Fund y a sus miembros. My name is Laura Becerra and I'm an immigrant from Venezuela. I'm here representing Workers Defense Action Fund on behalf of their members. Nos reunimos afuera de Dilley porque lo que pasa dentro de estas paredes no puede seguir ocurriendo en silencio. Exigimos el cierre inmediato de este centro de detención y la liberación de las familias. We're gathered outside of Dilley because what happens inside those walls cannot continue happening in silence. We demand the immediate shutdown of the detention center and the release of the families. También estamos aquí en solidaridad con los niños y con las niñas detenidas en Dilley, quienes recientemente alzaron su voz y protestaron dentro del centro, gritando libertad. We also stand in solidarity with the children detained in Dilley, who recently raised their voice and protested inside the facility chanting freedom. Cuando los niños tienen que organizarse para pedir libertad, el sistema ya falló. When children are forced to organize to ask for freedom, the system has already failed. Hoy quiero compartirles el testimonio de una de nuestras líderes comunitarias, Elizabeth, porque esto no es una estadística, esto es una vida real, es una familia real. I'm here today because I want to share a testimony for one of our community leaders, Elizabeth, who wasn't able to be here today. This is not an statistic, this is real life, this is a real family. El 3 de septiembre del 2025, la policía de Houston detuvo a mi esposo de manera violenta. On September 3rd, 2025, Houston police violently detained my husband. Lo golpearon y lo tuvieron que llegar al hospital antes de meterlo preso. They beat him up and had to take him to the hospital before putting him in jail. De la cárcel lo pasaron a migración y ya van a ser 6 meses que está detenido. From jail, he was transferred to an immigration custody and he was being detained for 6 months and still is. En todo este tiempo no lo he visto. During all this time, I have not seen him. Vi su sangre en el estacionamiento, al lado de su troca, y me pregunto cómo está adentro, si le dieron cuidado médico, y cómo está. Me lo pregunto todos los días. I saw his blood in the parking lot, next to his truck, and I wonder how he is inside, and whether he is receiving the medical care, and how is he. I ask that to myself every single day. Veo todas las facturas que ya no alcanzo a pagar sin su ingreso. I see all the bills that I can no longer afford to pay without his income. 6 meses es demasiado. 6 months is too long. Si lo van a deportar, entonces que lo manden ya a su país, para que pueda estar con su madre, que tanto se preocupa por él. If they're gonna deport him, then they should already send him to his country now, so he can be with his mom, who he worries about him so much. Somos muchas familias sufriendo así, con seres queridos secuestrados de sus hogares. There are families suffering like mine, with the loved ones taken from their own home. Los queremos sanos y salvos en nuestros brazos. We want them safe and healthy in our arms. Me uno a los detenidos en Dilley gritando libertad. I join everybody in Dilley shouting freedom. Cuando los niños gritan libertad, es nuestro deber responder. When children cry out for freedom, it's our duty to respond. Por Elizabeth, por las familias detenidas y por las voces que se escuchan desde Dilley, exigimos libertad.
¡Libertad!
Libertad.
¡Libertad!
For Elizabeth, for the detained families, and for the voices rising from Dilley, we demand freedom.
¡Freedom!
El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido.
¡El pueblo unido!
Jamás será vencido.
¡El pueblo
Unido jamás será vencido.
¡El pueblo unido!
Jamás será vencido.
The people united!
Will never be divided.
The people united!
Will never be divided.
The people united!
Will never be divided.
The people united!
Will never be divided. All right.
march into the detention camp. Our last speaker is Ayan Moledina, and they'll be closing out as the last speaker, and then we'll have a closeout sound after them.
Thank you. Hello. My name is Ayan Moledina. I am a student advocate. I live in Austin, and I work with an organization where we represent the voices of young people across Texas and the country. I stand in front of you both solemnly and with great fury. I am grieving the lives of the people we've lost. I'm disgusted by white supremacists parading our streets in uniforms resembling those worn by secret police and fascists across the world throughout history, and displaying the Nazi salute with no shame. Words cannot even express what I'm trying to convey. What type of world do we live in to think that this is normal? To see these tragedies happen every day and not even flinch. My generation has become numb. We are used to seeing people shot in the streets, targeted because of the color of their skin or the language they speak. It seems like our country is moving back in time, not by months or years, but by decades. I'm 17 years old, but unfortunately, this is the only reality I've known. I have grown up in an era similar to that of my grandparents and great-grandparents. How tragic is that? We are raising a generation of children that are immune to all this hatred, who think it's okay to discriminate against their peers because they see the President of the United States and his goons setting that example. But I know that if those people had to live in the shoes of someone like me for just one day, they would understand. The world looks at people like me and Liam Conejo Ramos differently because of the color of our skin and where we're from. That is not how it's supposed to be. This is not normal. I'm a first-generation American. My parents came to this country from Pakistan as teenagers to pursue the American dream, to build a better life, to get a quality education, and to create a stronger foundation for their children. The foundation they built for our community is being torn down by the country that they pledged loyalty to. I was born in the United States, but I still carry my passport with me everywhere. And I actually have nightmares about ICE coming and knocking on my door, only to kidnap me and other people of color. This is not normal. The Trump administration is kidnapping countless people I know from my Muslim congregation after decades of living in this country, paying taxes, and being productive, law-abiding Americans. They are Americans. But the Trump administration is treating them as less than human. They are stripping away their dignity. Children are at risk of not graduating after missing school and being set behind for the rest of their life. Teenagers who had temporary protective status when entering this country 2 years ago are being locked up without their families, with no way to get out or to contact anyone. Children are coming home to find their siblings and parents gone, with no way to locate them, knowing that there is a very real chance that they've been shipped to another state. And when members of Congress inquire on their behalf, ICE doesn't even respond like they're legally required to. But are we surprised? They don't follow the law. For the Republican candidate for governor of Minnesota to drop out of the race and say he couldn't look his daughter in the eyes and tell her that he's a Republican, that should be a wake-up sign to all Republicans across the country. They need to stop being spineless cowards and stand up for what's right. We live in a world where as a teenager I can walk through the streets and be yelled at by Christian nationalists that say I'm going to hell because I'm not Christian. I'm a person of faith, and I believe that there's more that unites us than divides us. Muslims also believe in the fundamental values of loving thy neighbor, clothing the poor, feeding the hungry, and helping the sick. We take Jesus as one of our prophets as well, someone who was an immigrant and homeless himself. These supposed believers would probably lock up Jesus himself in these internment camps if he was here with us today. They want to return America to, quote, a white Christian nation. But we're all standing on stolen land. At the end of the day, we are all human beings, and the neo-Nazis at the detention facility are stoking fear, harming generations to come, and leaving another permanent stain on the history of the United States of America, which is not feeling so united right now. What will it take for people in power to stand up and understand the genocide and ethnic cleansing that is occurring right inside our borders? More people getting killed in the hands of these domestic terrorists? ICE must immediately cease operations across the country, stop terrorizing people on the streets, stop slaughtering our brothers and sisters, and release all kidnapped individuals like the sweet Liam Conejo Ramos. Yeah. We must push to live in a more just society that serves the people who have built it, people of color, and historically oppressed communities. The country was built on the backs of our ancestors, and now we say no more. It is our time to stand up and say that me, as a teenager, should not have to stand in front of an internment camp and beg and plead for the government to free my brothers and sisters. History is repeating itself over and over, but people in power are oblivious to it. We have risen up before against dictators and oppression, and we will do it again, but we shouldn't have to. And I'll just add one more thing that I wrote on the way here from Austin, because I found out that a family in my neighborhood has been inside the Dilley detention facility since December. They came here from Venezuela 2 years ago with temporary protective status, but the president revoked all TPS, and they have been in ICE custody since December. And on the way here, I had to literally stop and throw up because of how disgusting this is. I got word that they were not being fed, they were not being allowed health care, they were crying in their cages, and that they were told they have to stay in their cell and they will not be able to meet with Congressman Castro. I am now going to go to the facility myself, and I'm going to demand to be let in, to allow those children to be fed. I will buy them food inside, and I will demand for them to let me in. It is important to note that this family includes a mother and a father and 2 children. An 18-year-old who's at risk of not graduating high school, and a 9-year-old child. This is unacceptable, and they must be released immediately. Thank you.
All right, as we get prepared, we're doing our closing. We have a few closing remarks from Anayanse, and then Juan will lead us in a song.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. Our Lakota brothers and sisters, our relatives, our Diné brothers and sisters, our relatives, our Otham brothers and sisters, our relatives that have always been targeted as well, in spite of the fact that we are native original peoples of the land. And maybe this was never about enforcing immigration, right? Because we see that there are prisoners right now being held in facilities, and there are treaties that are supposed to protect us. They're supposed to protect our land, our water, and our people. And they have broken all of them. They have also violated our civil rights, our human rights, and they have also violated international and domestic treaties. So they have broken their own spirit, their own human spirit. And we're here because we heard the cries of the children. And by doing this walk, we're calling back our spirits, and we're calling on everybody to hear the children and to respond. And for the people that have the responsibility to take actionable steps, not just pictures, not just use people as props in their videos or in their propaganda, but we want actionable steps towards freedom for the children like Liam and all the children and women that are in the facility in these concentration camps all over the United States. All of the prisoners of war, of this horrible war that they have waged against our humanity, have to be set free. And so we'd like to call Juan Mancias to come and have a song for us in closing, and then we will have some announcements, some logistical announcements regarding parking.
Hey guys, I'm serious. You need to change the narrative. Nobody's illegal on stolen lands except those that stole the land. And they're in Washington right now, and they're in Austin, and we need to start deciding where we're going to change that narrative and put the responsibility and make them become more transparent to what's happening. And let me tell you, there's no American dream. You can buy a house and you still got to pay taxes on it until the day you die. And then on top of that, they're going to take any money you got out there. So where's the freedom that y'all are talking about? You know, we can change that. We can change that by getting the right people into the offices. And you guys, all of you need to start talking to 2 or 3 people at a time about getting Abbott out of office. Because that guy is just a puppet. And Trump, he's a nut. He's a maniac. He's a pedophile. He's a criminal. And we got to stop that kind of mentality, because that's exactly what they're doing in these detention centers. And we know that that's happening. We don't want that happening to our children anymore. Any children. And it is about it is about these children. So I'm going to sing a song for these young people. But I wanted to let you know that we've got to change the narrative. They're trying to throw stuff out there when they talk about critical infrastructures, that the wall is a critical infrastructure, that the Dilley building is a critical infrastructure. Hey, what about the children inside? Aren't they critical? Aren't you critical? Aren't our ways important? And that's what we have to start changing. Because they don't teach you the real history of the genocide that happened in this state. They don't talk about the genocide that happened all over so-called America, the U.S. You know, you need to start looking at those things, because there's some real devilish stuff that was going on. And you know what? We're already in hell. I want to get to a place where there's peace and there's a lot of caring and compassion for one another. And I think that that's important right now, and that our children will take us there. Tekio yenhela eohe, Tekio yenhe akio weoye, Tekio yenhela akio we yeyo weyo we. Bekyo yenher akio yen yepesaye aye yenher akio nawazulye wahe yo Y'all be careful. Take care of each other. Watch each other.
Thank you, Juan. Okay, friends. If you just got here, I'm Reverend Aaron Walter from the Texas UU Justice Ministry, one of the many, many organizations involved in organizing. While we get ready for some announcements, I want to invite anyone who is clergy, faith leader, or part of the organizing group. You'll know if you were part of the organizing group because you would have been on many, 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 many messages and calls for the last 3 days. If you are clergy, faith leader, organizing group, please, you are invited to come up. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I would like to invite the clergy and organizers to come up near me if you are willing, please, now, if you are willing. While they are doing that, I want to remind everyone that this is a sacred thing that we are doing. The organizers want to remind you that we come in peace and seeking peace, freedom and liberty for everyone. We come in solidarity with the children and families incarcerated everywhere, in all kinds of jails and prisons, seeking freedom. I want to remind you that if anyone antagonizes you today, please do not engage. We are here for a sacred procession. Please do not engage if anyone tries to antagonize you. Several of our clergy members have just returned from Minneapolis. We want you to know that you are not alone in this work. It is all connected. It is holy. In my denomination, there is a national call, a vigil. People all over the country and the world are with us in this moment. The Free Families movement is having vigils in person and online. The world is with us in this moment, calling for libertad. And so I invite you to sing with us a chant that comes from the streets of Minneapolis, where they sang for their neighbors. And we know, in God's eyes, in the eyes of the earth, in the eyes of our ancestors, we are all neighbors. And it goes like this. This is for our neighbors who are locked inside. Together we will abolish ICE. This is for our neighbors who are locked inside. Together we will abolish ICE. This is for our neighbors who are locked inside. Together we will abolish ICE. So they can hear you. This is for our neighbors who are locked inside. Together we will abolish ICE. One more time. This is for our neighbors who are locked inside. Together we will abolish ICE. Libertad! 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 America will give you some logistical announcements. Thank you for singing. Clergy friends, we are asking that at least half of us, if we can, be in the front of the procession, and then space out along the way for the sake of safety. Those of you who are documenting with cameras, we also invite you to space yourself out along the way, and just to please keep each other's safety in mind the entire time. America?
Hello, for media that is here, we do have a commitment to center Native original peoples and the most directly impacted. And part of that commitment is to ask you, as people who are documentarians of the atrocities, and to center these voices as well. So we're asking you to please follow our speakers that spoke today, who will be walking. We would like for you to be on one side of them and then the other side. And they will also, if you're clergy, to please be with them. They should have at least 5 clergy. And I would say if we can get a lot of the media to please, part of this is to document this journey. And we really need for anybody with a camera to be documenting what the speakers have just said and the reality of right now. Please.
Those are hard shoes to follow, but this is some good information coming up. What we'd like everyone to do, first of all, if you have disability plates or if you have an ADA tag, we would invite you with a marked vehicle to join us at the Valero station at the corner of I-35 and 85. This is only buses and vehicles that have ADA plates or tags. And we would like to join you halfway through the march and have you continue with us on the procession. So you have your vehicles issued to you, you have your tags issued to you, so you know who you are. Everybody else, if y'all could join me between these two trees on this street, Miller, and we're going to shift to that edge, join there, and then begin our peaceful procession to the facility, to the CCA facility. And please notice I said CCA facility and not Dilley. I'm from Eagle Pass, and my hometown became synonymous with what the government enacted upon us. Please remember that the people of Dilley are separate from the private prisons and the bureaucratic agencies that are doing this. Please remember that there are people who live here who've welcomed us into their church homes, and please help them out in any way you can, including making sure that we leave this park cleaner than we found it, and also that this town stays synonymous with being the watermelon capital of Texas. All right. And so please, I love watermelon too for many, many reasons, yes. But if we could please marshal on Miller Street, and then we're going to begin walking down the street. But if you'll marshal over here, and then we'll be guided from there with our clergy and our impacted voices leading. Thank you very much.
Woo woo! All right, there's extra banners, there's extra flowers. Remember, this is a procession.